Moin Moin and welcome to Ralfs Foto-Bude. Yeah, when I started my Foto-Bude a little bit more than 6 months ago, one of my first tests was the Travelzoom-Cameras. Tested 3 of them, and it was a great success, the test of the Travelzoom-Cameras. So just before the summer holidays, it's a good time to test the new models, and now I take 5 of the Travelzoom-Cameras. I think these are the most important and most successful models I've tested. I show you and I give you a quick overview over each model. So here we have the Canon PowerShot Sx280 Hs. Then we have the Fuji F900 EXR. Then we have the Sony Cybershot DSC HX50V. Then we have the Panasonic DMC TZ41 and the Nikon Coolpix S9500. All of them, they have GPS, and all of them, they have a Wi-Fi module inside, so you can transmit pictures to your mobile phone or to your computer. And some of the models you can make remote with your smartphone, so you can take pictures from your smartphone while the camera is away. So let's have a look at each of the models. I give you a quick overview, so you will see the first impression of each model. So this is the Canon Sx280 Hs. It has a 20x optical zoom. On top of the camera we have the on-off button, we have the zoom lever and the shutter. On the side we have a built-in flash. You see they have full HD for the video function. Yeah, on the back side we have the dial for the different programs, replay button, the video button. Then we have a dial to maneuver in the settings and in the menus, display change and menu button. So let's have a quick look into the menus and the functions. You see the screen, it's not a touch screen. I'll show you later which camera had a touch screen. We have the function set button. So if you press the function set button, you have the most important settings of the camera at the side, and you can go with the dial to the certain point. Then you make, you see here the GPS, and then you go to the point like the ISO setting, go to the ISO setting, and then you can change the ISO setting. The Sx280 goes up to ISO 6400. So that's a very nice way to change the most important settings. If you go to the menu, let's go to the change to the English setting. Here let's see the most important settings of the different settings for the camera. So let's go to the language and change to English. So here's the English setting, and you have the you can do that with a dial also, so you can go up and down with the dial. And here you have the camera settings, AF frame, you have the digital zoom, servo RF continuous autofocus, flash setting, eye contrast, wind filter for the movie. So these are the most important settings. Here on top you have the program, time value, aperture value, manual setting, video function. Then you have discrete, turns all the sounds and flash off. Then you have the fisheye effect, but not only the fisheye, you have different effects you can choose from. Then you have the scene programs like portrait and stuff like that, sport, and then the auto function, and you have the hybrid auto, where you can make short movies, and these movies work together to one long movie. So it's like a movie diary or stuff like that. It's very nice to use this function on a holiday. So you have at the end of the holiday, you have a short movie with the most important impressions of the holiday. Yeah, so that's the Canon. Then let's go to the next one in alphabetical order. We have the Fujifilm F900 EXR. It has also a 20x zoom, yeah, on top of the camera we have the on-off switch. We have the Wi-Fi module. You see it has a Wi-Fi module inside, as I said before. The on-off button, zoom lever, shutter, and a function button. You can customize the function button. Then you have the program dial, and you see, like the Fuji cameras, it has an EXR program where you can change the different settings. I'll show you here. Let's start the camera. If you go to the menu, you see you have the EXR modus, and you can change the EXR modus. But before, again, you see the menu. Let's go to the setting of the language, so you can change, or I change to English, and that's again a little bit easier to understand. So you see the menu is like the menus in all the other Fuji cameras, like the X20, X100S or XE1. So it's a very nice, easy to understand menu, because you only just go down and you have the different settings. You have the setup menu, and on top you have the shooting menu, or if you push the replay button, you have the there's no image, so let's make one image. Okay, and if you press the replay button and then you go to the menu, you have the playback menu where you have the different settings, and you can see here you have the wireless transfer, so you can transfer the picture wireless to your iPhone or stuff like that. So that's very nice, because I love the Wi-Fi function very much, because it makes it very easy to transfer pictures to Facebook or stuff like that, and the picture quality is much better than you get it from your iPhone or your mobile device. So I like this function very much. The Fuji doesn't have a quick menu like the X20 or XE1, but it has this E function. If you press the E function, you have the different settings of the buttons here, and you have the different settings of the four-way buttons. So if I change now to the program mode and press the EFN button again, you will see we have the different settings here, and you can customize these settings too. So if you want to have the ISO here, just press ISO and you have the ISO setting, and you can change the ISO setting just by dialing or by pressing the button up and down. So that's very easy. That's a nice way. It's not as comfortable as the quick menu, but it's also a very nice way to change the most important settings on an easy way. Yeah, so that's the Fujifilm. On the side we have the HDMI connector. Yeah, that's these are the most important points. I like by the way, I like the front of the camera very much, because it gives you a good hold of your hand or of the camera. This thing here, so you can grab the camera very firm, and with my big hands and a small camera, for me it's very important to have a camera which I can hold very firm and which doesn't have a surface where the camera is slipping through my hand and I don't have it good in my hand. So that's very good for the Fujifilm. Next one in the alphabetical order is the Nikon S9 9500. It has a little bit more zoom. It goes up to a 22 times zoom, so it's a little bit more than the other cameras have. Again, on the top of the camera we have the Wi-Fi and GPS on-off switch, the zoom lever, shutter, and you have the different program modes. And the Nikon, it's a little bit different to the other cameras, but the other cameras usually you have the like here at the Fujifilm, you have the settings PSAM, and then you have a scene program, and you have advanced programs like the Fujifilm. By the way, they have the advanced programs. These are like a pinhole effect and stuff like that. And the Nikon doesn't have this. The Nikon has a program dial which says scene, and then you have different settings. You don't have the PASM setting. So the Nikon goes a little bit more away from the manual settings, more to the program modes, to the modes where the photographer is not so much involved in making the individual settings. So the camera does make more settings by herself, and so it's not. I mean, I think I have to try, but I think you can make manual settings, but it's not as easy, or it's not in a way like the other cameras does. So on the back side we have the dial, we have the replay button, we have the video function, menu button, and trash. So let's have a look at the menus. Let's start the camera. So you see here's the camera. We go to the menu, and first of all, because it's easier for you to understand, we go to the language. Here we are, language, setting of the language, go to English. So you see here you have the different settings for the different things. You have the Wi-Fi setting, you have the GPS setting, you have the video setting or movie options, and then you have depends on the setting of the program dial, you have the different settings for the in this case for the night portrait. Let's go to the effects. If you go to the effects and press the menu button, you see you have sorry, let's this way. You have different special effects where you can choose from, like soft sepia, high contrast monochrome, high key, low key, and selective colors. If you go to the scene mode, and press the button, you have the different scene modes like portrait, landscape, sport, party, indoor, beach, snow, and sunset. So it's a little bit different to the other cameras, because you have not on the first glimpse the PASM mode. And I have to try. I don't know. I have to look if the camera has this mode. My tests will show it, and my full review of the cameras will show it too. So yeah, that's the Nikon. On the side we have the HDMI and AV out and USB connector. The camera has a built-in flash, which pops out if you want to use it. Just press here and then the flash pops out. Yeah, so it's a nice small camera. The grip is okay. I mean, they have these thing here on the front side. The grip is okay. You have the for the thumb, this area here, which gives you a good grip. So, but it's a real light camera. It's a lightweight, and it's a small camera. The lens goes completely inside the body of the camera. You have these I don't know how to say it, but the lens is covered, so you can put the camera very good in your pocket without that it may hang on the side of the pocket or stuff like that. So that was the Nikon. Next one is the Panasonic. I have the white model of the Panasonic, and we see here it has a 20x zoom, 20x optical zoom. The flash is built in. It's not a pop-out flash like the other cameras have. On top of the camera we have the program dial. Here you see we have again PASM. Then we have the two custom settings. We have a panorama mode, and we have the scene and then the art filters. and the intelligent mode of the camera. We have the zoom lever and the shutter. We have the video function on off, and on the back side we have the Wi-Fi function. So if you press the Wi-Fi button, you get the Wi-Fi connection, exposure, replay button, display, quick menu, and the menu button. And they made the four-way button, they made it a little bit more clearer. The signs are a little bit more better to read than with the old models. They only had like a graving or so. How do you say? No, not graving. It's but I don't know how to say. I can show you on the G5. You see, it's not really good to read if the sun or if the light is in a bad position. I mean, you can read absolutely nothing on the four-way button of the old cameras. On this one is much better. So let's have a look at the menu. So this is the screen, and you have the quick menu button like the other Panasonic cameras. And in the quick menu button, you see you have the settings here on top. Just go by if you want to change one of these settings, and then, I mean, if you want to change the resolution, just go down and that's it. It's very easy to change. And you have the full menu. So if you go out here, then we go to the full menu, and you see we have the rec menu. I want to go back to the program mode, because then we have a little bit more in the menus. Sorry, that was the wrong one. Here we go to the menu, and one thing I can show you, it's a touch screen. So if you press here on, you go to the different settings of the touch screen, and yeah, that's the only model with a touch screen. So let's go to the setup and change again to the English language. Just a second. You see here the different. Most of the words are similar in English and German, and here at the almost last point we have the setting for the language. Yeah, so if you want to go to the different program modes, you have for the motion picture, you have the rec mode for the camera, aspect ratio, picture size, quality, AF mode, eye exposure, burst mode. So these are the settings for the rec mode. And here we have the GPS mode. If you want to set the GPS, here is a GPS setting. You can make a GPS lock. So the camera takes the positions you're going and makes a lock, so you can follow the route on a map. That's a very nice feature. I will have a look if the other cameras also have this feature. Yeah, and what I told you before, you have the touch screen, and so with a touch screen you can zoom on a touch screen. You see, you have the zoom on the touch screen here. You can zoom this way, and also you have the touch shutter. So you see now it's the touch shutter is off, and if I go there and put it on, the yellow sign says the touch shutter is on. And I can go a little bit away with the zoom, a little bit more wide, so if I press on the screen, the camera will make a picture just by pressing on or touching the screen. So that's a very nice feature. I like it very much, the touch shutter. But it's the only one in the test field with a touchscreen, so it may be a little bit an advantage of the Panasonic. One thing for the grip, you see there's a real nice grip on the side. Just put the lens inside of the camera. You see that's a real nice grip. So the camera you can hold the camera real firm, and even with my big hands, it has a very, very good grip, and I like it very much to hold the camera, because this is a nice stuff. So it gives you a real good hold of the camera. One thing, they pushed up the megapixel. They went up a little bit with the megapixel, so it's for me, it's very, very interesting to see how the picture quality is. Does it goes it a little bit up or goes a little bit down because of the higher megapixel amount? It's very interesting to see. And now we come to the last model. That's the Sony the 50V. They have also the model only 50 without the V, and as I remember, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's only the GPS module, which is a difference between the 50 and the 50V. So one thing I can show you, the Sony is one of the, or not one, is the biggest of the travel zoom cameras I have in the test. You see it's a little bit more higher, it's a little bit wider, I don't know, but I can show you it's much thicker. So the smallest one I think is the Coolpix, and here with the Coolpix you can see the difference quite good. So the Sony is a real big one. Two reasons why it is a big one. First reason, 30 times zoom. So that's the biggest zoom of the 5 cameras. The other goes up to 22. This one goes up to 30 times zoom. And another point, you have an external flash shoe on the camera. That's real neat for a travel zoom camera, but because usually on this small cameras you cannot put an external flash shoe on the camera. And one real good thing, you can also use your flash from other brands. You don't have to use a Sony flash. You have to make it manual, you have to make the settings manual, you have to make the zoom manual, and you have to make the power band manual, but you can use an external flash from another brand. So I can show you, I just start the camera, and here we go, just go to the program mode. Yes, here we are in the program mode, and you see, there we are, and again, here we are. So that's very nice because you can use your flash, and you have a lot of flash power. Oops, you have a lot of flash power. You can make an indirect flash, and yeah, it's very astonishing for me that a small camera like this has an external flash shoe. So let's have a look at the dials. Another thing, a very nice thing, you have the exposure correction dial. You don't have to go in the menus to make the exposure correction. Just make a dial and you have the exposure correction. On top of the camera you have the program dial, you have PASM like usual. Then you have the individual things you can make. You can customize this. There you have 3 different settings. Then you have the panorama, and you have the video mode and scene mode, and 2 intelligent auto modes. So let's have a look at the menu. Yeah, one thing in the menu, I think it's a little bit difficult to understand the menu because they have combined a quick menu with a usual camera menu. So if you press the menu button, you come first, or you come in the quick menu where you have the settings like a picture effect and size and ISO setting, white balance, and all the stuff. Even if it's in English, you know what the signs say. And then far down on the bottom there are a lot of points you can change, a lot of quick menu settings you can change. The quick menu normally I like very much because you can make the most important settings directly without going into the menu. But then after a long way down, just go down, there you have the general settings, the general menu of the camera. So if you press now, you get the long menu where you make the general settings. So let's go down again to the no. So I'm not quite sure where it is. where is the language setting? Here we are. Language setting is here. So let's go to the English setting. Yeah, and here we have the main settings and the camera settings. These are the usual things like movie format. You can change here. You can change between AV, CHD, and MP4. Yes, I know. And you have the normal settings. Yeah, but I think it's a little bit complicated to understand why you have the setting here down in the quick menu. I would like to have it like the other cameras, a quick menu, and the normal setting of the camera. So I think it's a little bit easier to understand. But okay. I think once you get used to it, it's absolutely okay. I show you while I'm talking the menus of the Sony camera. So yeah, these are the most important settings. You have the custom button. If you press the custom button, you can customize it. Here on this camera, I have put the ISO setting, and one thing you can see, the ISO goes up to 12,800. I'm not quite sure if a camera from this sensor size with an 20.4 megapixel sensor make a good picture quality in 12,800 ISO. My test will show this. The former model of the HX50 has I think a 16 or 18 megapixel sensor, and even there the quality in high ISO was so. I mean, it's normal that cameras with a small sensor in the high ISO area have a lot of detail and a little bit more noise, but I don't know if it is a good decision to go up in the megapixel area up to 20 megapixel while you have a small sensor like this. My test will show if this was the right decision of Olympus. One thing I want to show you, I'm not quite sure. One of the cameras has the RAW mode. I don't know which one. I think, when I remember it correct, I think the Fujifilm is one of the only cameras which has RAW mode. But that's also my test will show you, and after the test I will make a review again for all the cameras. So let's see which we have here. Image quality, yes, I remember correct. The Fuji has a RAW mode, and when I remember it correct, this one is the only which has a RAW mode. But as I said, my test will show, and yeah, in the next days I make the test, and I'm on my way to a German island called Sylt, and there I make the test while traveling, because this is a travel zoom camera, so you need to travel to have different experiences, different settings, different camera settings, from cloudy sky to sun to the beach, and so I hope my test is very interesting. Unfortunately, my internet page still is only in German, but I make the video reviews for you in English for sure. I make a complete review for all the 5 cameras, and I make individual reviews for each of the camera where I explain the pros and the cons of each model individually. Yeah, I hope my review or preview gives you a small idea of the new travel zoom cameras in the market. I think these are the most important and the best models in the market. Come back again in a week or so. I have the complete review of the models. Till now, have fun, take a lot of good pictures, and come back on my video channel on YouTube. And so long, I say moin moin.